Hi. Looking rough. What can I do? Today is exam day. Yeah, so I just moved in here. I actually just finished the first half of my exam. It's online, so I have all day to do it. Kelsfer is here, not really helping. In fact, he's trying to eat my answers, change them on my keyboard, but it's already 1:30 and I've only got through 4 questions. First part of the exam was 4 short written answers and I just got finished them. My plan was to answer a question and then watch an episode of Hunter x Hunter and then alternate like that, and I got through one, but then my partner, he's down and out, he's down for the count, he's asleep. He doesn't have COVID. It's not COVID, so that's good. He's just homesick from work again, but we've been watching Hunter x Hunter together now, so that means that I didn't get to do that method and I've just been powering through, so it's probably a good thing that he's asleep actually. But I'm now on to the second half of the exam, which is 2 essays, and then I'll be done. But these 2 essays are obviously going to take longer, so I just wanted to take a little break and do like a little haul with you guys, like I was saying. I'm just gonna wear this shirt. I feel like I'm just gonna wear this shirt every day. I thrifted this right before I moved and it is just the most comfy thing ever. I don't even know where it's originally from. Oh, it's from Old Navy. I did have a yoga class scheduled for like an hour ago, but I decided to cancel it because I was like, you know what, I should just write this exam, get it over with, and then my American Lit course will finally be done. So this is how my jar of bookmarks is looking like right now. It's getting absolutely stuffed, but there's so many cute ones in here that you guys have sent me that I just want to show you. If any of these people have shops or anything, I will try my best to link them down below, but okay, let's start at the back because these are ones that I've just used. This one was made by a lovely subscriber. It's a little bee with bee combs. So cute. These are from a shop called Bloomingly Bookish, and then I'm currently using one in my Murakami book that has suns all over it. So I really like these two. This one is my favorite. And then someone made me so many of these sick laminated bookmarks. So I have a few here and then a few in my drawer. These ones are my favorites from the pile. We have this little like cabbage head man. They also have both sides. There's so many with cats on them. Anyway, she made these and I'm obsessed with them. Another little orange cat. So cute. This one has a squirrel. I love it so much. Oh my god. This one I love. This one is called Miss Autumn. I'm like so ready for autumn. Oh my gosh. And then the back has a cat and a squirrel just chilling, which is so fun. Here's another autumn cat one. More cats. As you can see, I really pulled out all of the cat bookmarks and hoarded them into a little pile. Anyway, I think these are so cute. Thank you so much. This one is glorious. This one is so pretty. Ah, look at it. So astounded at this. So this is a little package. I don't know if you can see this, but they are earrings of War and Peace. Like this is War and Peace. I don't know if this is gonna focus right now. Please do a little focus. But it's War and Peace by Tolstoy in like the Penguin English Library cloth-bound editions. And like the page is literally open. Freaking amazing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna cherish this forever. I got a couple of candles and they are so, they smell so good. So the first one is English Tea and it's in like this really cool teal color. And this is from Little House Candles and it does smell like tea. It smells really good. I'm getting so excited for autumn. But this candle is number 4, Moonlight. This one is so good. Oh, this one is probably my favorite and it has really cute. Look at that. I love this one. Thank you so much. For like letters and more personal things, I definitely don't want to, show them just in case people don't want them shown. But this came in a package with a bunch of things and it's a little baby Yoda. Look at, oh my god, Kelsey, you better not be destroying that chair. Look at him, he's so cute. Anyway, I put him on the shelf above my desk. There he is. What are you doing? Right here, I have created like my little pen pal situation with all of, let me just make sure your addresses aren't showing, all of your letters and stuff, and then ignore the light situation. I'm like currently in the middle of doing that, but I'm so excited because this cute little corner where like I've been writing you guys back, and like I still haven't found the post office near me, but when I do, I'll send them out. But there's one in here that I really want to show because like I literally laughed and cried because I loved it so much. I believe this is from Sergey. Thank you so much. I love it. Anyway, it's okay, you're never gonna believe what this is, but it came with like it just came with some really nice stuff and a big pack of tea, and I'm so excited to try the tea. But it says Emma, it says my name, and then it says Canadian School of Witchcraft and Literature, and then you open it up and it's like a howler, you know? Ronald Wade! I appreciate this more than you know. This made my whole entire day. I've always wanted to get a howler. I already showed you these last night as well. These two, but I just keep staring at them. That would be such a cute tattoo. I really thought that I was gonna get a tattoo when I turned 18 because the dog that my family had before Evie, his name was Shadow. He was a Black Lab German Shepherd mix, and we had him for 7 years, from the time that I was 10 till 17. And then unfortunately he had to be put down because he had, oh god, he had a tumor around his heart. But the tattoo that I always wanted to get, because I just, obviously, I loved Shadow. I'm so sad that I, you know, can't, well, I can show you pictures of him. I'll put some pictures up here, but this one day he ran into my room, extremely muddy, and I had like my notes and my books on the floor, and he ran all over them, got mud all over them, but it also resulted in me getting like a perfect fossilized paw print of his muddy paw on one of my notebooks, and I've kept that page full of mud and his paw print for forever. I think it's still at my parents' house in my bedroom, but I had always wanted to get that preserved paw print on my left ankle, which is the side that he would always walk beside me when we went on walks and stuff, but I never got it. I mean, I still could get it. I, you know, think about him all the time, love him so much, and yeah, speaking of just animals in my life as well, I wanted to get like a mixture of all the animals I've ever like really loved in my life and had in my life, and there was Shadow, which I wanted to get that paw tattoo, and then there was Blizzard. I don't think I've spoken on Blizzard on my channel before. He was actually alive when I started my booktube channel, but those videos are probably privated because they're really cringy. But he was a Netherland dwarf rabbit. He was all white, and I had him for 13 years from grade 2 all the way until my second year of university, when he got, you know, very sick and very old. But yeah, I wanted to get a tattoo like commemorating Blizzard and Shadow and Ozzy, who was the cat, the stray cat that I was talking about, that yeah, was someone I just love so much. And now I obviously have Kelsifer and Evie. So like getting a tattoo for all of them would be something that would just be so cool, because yeah, there's just so much love there. But anyway, I need to stop blabbing and I need to get on my exam. But let's talk about it. This is the first exam that I can film myself taking, which is wild. The only rule is that you can't use the internet, or you're asked not to. But if you're trying to use the internet to write an English lit exam, I feel like things aren't looking so hot for you. So like the internet is not particularly helpful to write English exams. But anyway, let's see who I've written on so far, because I cannot repeat authors. I've written on Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. I've written on W.E.B. Du Bois. I've written on Emily Dickinson. And then the one that I just finished was on Kate Chopin's The Story of an Hour. Now I have to write 2 essays. Once again, I'm not a fan of these essay questions. I never have been. None of the essay questions in this course have I particularly enjoyed. Anyway, the first one is, name 2 texts that deal with utopian aspirations for American society. What are these utopian aspirations in terms of specific social as well as literary horizons? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so for that one I have picked a description of New England by, is it John Smith or John Winthrop? I get the Johns so mixed up. It's one John, I don't really care. And then the other one I picked for that is What to the Slave is the 4th of July by Frederick Douglass. So I thought those would be good oppositions, because a description of New England is like, America is utopia, we love America, there's no problems here. And Frederick Douglass is obviously like, what utopia are you referring to? The United States has a lot of problems. I picked the third essay question, which is about, what does it say? Many writers from the early period of American literature explore issues of individualism and freedom, and some texts focus on captivity and imprisonment. Focusing on 2 texts from different periods of American literature, discuss the contrast between freedom and captivity. How are freedom and captivity represented rhetorically? Oh my god. In these texts, to what extent is this opposition resolved, and what are the implications of this resolution or lack thereof? I don't know. I just feel like these questions don't excite me. They're not particularly, like, they're very broad, and obviously you have to hone them in and narrow them down in your own interpretation of the questions, but I don't know. They're just not particularly interesting. Like I said, very broad. Individualism, freedom, you know? Welcome to the start of a new week. I guess you would have just seen the closing off of last week, where I finished my final exam and thus finished the American literature course. Can we just have a moment of silence? It's noon. I have been kind of just cleaning the apartment after a pretty busy weekend and Monday, because today is Tuesday, so that's good. I deep cleaned a lot of things, and then I had a pretty long play session with Kelsifer to tucker him out, because I wanted to start this vlog without him being super crazy. But I think right now what I'm gonna go do is make a coffee and grab some food, because I'm feeling so tired and kind of just down today. It's a very gloomy day, which is making me very sleepy as well. Okay, so while my coffee is being made, a lot of you guys have been asking what I'm doing like for school, how my American Lit course went, what is my plan for next year, am I still finishing my degree, what is going on? The degree is being finished, and very excitingly, I only have one more course left to take before I can graduate. I had plans to take it online at the university I was attending in London, and things didn't work out with that, and I was panicking for a few days before the counselors at my university throughout the years, like, they have just been incredibly helpful, like so good, like 5-star reviews. They've been amazing, and they were just like, hey, you know, you can just take a course at another university and count it towards your degree at your home university. So thankfully I found a course at Toronto Metropolitan University, which recently changed its name. It used to be Ryerson University, and I found a course there that I'm going to be taking online starting in the fall in September, so I don't really have a big break off from school. The American Lit course went about as well as I predicted, because American literature is just so not my area of enjoyment or passion or anything like that. This course is all about women writers. I think it's just called women writing, so the whole course is just going to be women authors. If I finish this course, which runs from I think September until, I actually don't know, it's not a full year course though, I will be done my degree. I have to say nothing in my university degree really went the way I planned. Things just happened, life just happened. I never envisioned my like post-secondary education going the way it has. There's been a lot of different things, from like a whole degree change at the start to obviously losing years of education to a brain injury that was not in the cards, you know, that wasn't in my plan, that wasn't in my 5-year plan. Getting concussed, having a severe concussion, losing years of my degree, but that's what happened, and there's nothing I can do except try and just live with it and appreciate where it's gotten me, what it's taught me, and just be grateful. Alright, so some reading updates. I have so much I need to read. So the first thing that I've been prioritizing is The Cossacks by Tolstoy. This is for the Dickens versus Tolstoy. I believe what is happening, because we fell behind on schedule, and The Cossacks and A Prisoner in the Caucasus by Tolstoy was supposed to be our reads for July. I think now what we're gonna do is read the 2 Tolstoy in August, and then just read Martin Chuzzlewit in September, and have that kind of be the plan. But so far I'm 34 pages into this. I think this is a little under 200 pages, so it's kind of like a short story, but I'm liking it. I'm actually kind of liking it. I'm actually kind of craving Tolstoy at the minute, especially after the mess for me that was the old Curiosity Shop by Dickens, and I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I'm actually learning a lot about the Cossacks themselves, and also the war that was taking place, the Caucasian War, I believe. We follow this young man named Olenin who goes to kind of stay with the Cossacks because they are fighting in the war. I am liking it. There's been a few really cool, nice quotes, and yeah, so I'm 34 pages into that, but I really should be probably a bit further ahead. And then I am still reading 100 Years of Solitude. This is probably the next thing that I need to prioritize, because I'm only that much of the way through, but like I'm still seeing people like just getting the book now and starting it, and apparently it's been like hard to find. And yeah, so I am 146 pages through 100 Years of Solitude, and I kind of like don't ever want it to be over, but it's also the kind of book that like if you step away from it for a few days and you come back, suddenly all of the same character names, because they all have the same names almost, you get real confused. Even though this is my second time reading it, you still get drastically confused. So I'm trying not to fall too far behind and keep reading at least every single day. And then A Wild Sheep Chase was just like for fun, but it's still part of my like Murakami challenge. So there's just a lot of things going on, but A Wild Sheep Chase I am 123 pages into, and then I bought some books over the end of last week because I had a few I needed to get, so I'll show you those in a second. And then this one I bought because I wanted to continue on with the series desperately. I was talking about getting the French version of Hunter x Hunter Volume 4 because this is the only one I could find, was the French version. There was no English one available, and so I did it. I bit the bullet and I got the French one, which isn't a big deal. I do read French. I did not know, are all French printings of manga this small? Because this is so much tinier than the standard English manga that I have for Hunter x Hunter, and it doesn't match, which was a little grating. But also it has a dust jacket. The manga has a dust jacket, and when you open it, it looks like this. That's cool. But yeah, it's very small and cute and tiny, and weirdly came with a dust jacket. Yeah, anyway, so I'm reading Hunter x Hunter because I wanted to get a little bit further ahead in the manga before we kept watching the anime. My partner and I are now, well, like we were committed to it. I think we're on season 1 episode 18. We're both kind of getting a little bit weary of the show because it takes so much more time for things to happen. Like, I think that's why I prefer reading the manga, because things aren't explained to you and over explained to you and like reviewed to death the way they are in the show. And I guess that's because, I don't know, like, I guess it's a kids show and I guess a lot of kids are watching it, but like the amount of review they do and flashbacks to the past in every single episode is so tiring. And I'm like, I know this, please stop. And then the way they have to over explain every single puzzle or task is really wearisome as well. But that's why I think I do ultimately prefer reading it, because it doesn't do that in the manga. It doesn't like over explain everything and like flashback constantly. Like we will have a scene happen, 5 minutes later Gon will be thinking of like what to do and it'll flash back to the scene that happened 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, I'm not a goldfish. I'm not a goldfish. I don't need you to do this. Anyway, so wait, I wanted to drink this. Yeah, so I'm still reading this, and then I really wanted to start Butterfly Valley because I started reading a few lines of this when I was doing my book haul and I was like hooked immediately, which doesn't usually happen with me with poetry. So I think I'm gonna be picking this up. So if you can see, this is the mess of reading that I'm having to deal with today, but number one is definitely starting with the Cossacks. And then I'm also gonna be calling Carolyn today to catch up and plan some exciting stuff. So I'll probably talk to her about this too. But I think what I'm gonna do right now is sit and read a little bit of the Cossacks. Okay, so I'm almost done reading my pages for the Cossacks, but there's been like some really nice things because Aladdin gets to the settlement, or like he's on the way, and he's seeing mountains for the first time. And after finally seeing mountains for myself for the first time this year, reading about mountains in books is so much more significant to me, especially because like I know what they're talking about now. So I underlined this passage where like he sees them for the first time. He gradually began to penetrate this beauty and to feel the mountains with his senses. From that moment, all that he saw, all that he thought, and all that he felt acquired for him the new majestic character of mountains. And that was like so true when I was in Alberta. It was like every time you looked up or around you, there was always mountains, and you kind of like, they were obviously so majestic and grand and like beautiful, but everything you began to feel and began to think kind of became infused with the shelter and the grandeur and like the sublimeness of the mountains, and like it was just something that really invaded my thoughts and my thought process when I was there. If he looked at himself at Vanusha, again it was the mountains he saw. The bay and grey legs of their horses mingling together, and the mountains. On the other side of the Terek he could see the smoke of an awl, and the mountains. The sun was rising and glittering, now visible behind the reeds, and the mountains. An ox cart was leaving the settlement, and the mountains. I'm not afraid, I have a rifle and strength and youth, and the mountains. I don't know, it's just something that's very hard to put into words, but when you're there you really start to infuse the mountains with like so much character and so much personality. At least for me, that's kind of what happened, and they were like this, just this force. I am currently making some tofu cubes. Oh, I did not really cut these satisfactorily, whatever. I have been loving just making fried tofu recently, and then I just put salt and pepper on it and then have it with some sweet and sour sauce. So I'm waiting for that to fry. I'm actually also currently reading an audiobook, or listening to an audiobook as well. And I'm finally getting around to The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin, which is the third and final book in the Broken Earth trilogy, which is honestly one of the best fantasy science fiction dystopian series I've ever read. It is so good. So this is the third one, and I read the 5th season, which is the first book, in the spring of 2020. I listened to the audiobook. I think the first book still remains my favorite, and then I read one in 2021 and now in 2022. So there's been quite a long time between starting the series and now finishing it, which for this one is definitely a little bit difficult because the system, the world, the characters, and just the complexity and nuance of things that happen in the series, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm kind of struggling to catch up and like remember things that happened, especially just the system, because in this world, Earth experiences 5 seasons, but the 5th season is one that everyone fears. It's basically when the Earth just kind of gets rumbled and remade, essentially. It's kind of like an apocalypse situation because the Earth goes into like cataclysmic conditions with like volcanoes and earthquakes. It's a very earth and rock and geology focused fantasy, which is so interesting. In this world, there are also people known as origins who can sense, you know, like fault lines and earthquakes, and like they know when this is going to happen, and they can kind of maybe control it to an extent. When this book begins, we follow this woman named Esun, who is an origin, but her husband doesn't know that. Most people are quite scared of them. They don't really like origins. They're kind of seen as outcasts and abnormalities, plus they're scary because, you know, they have power to an extent and can sometimes even cause earthquakes or natural disasters if they can't control their power. And so when he finds out that his wife is an origin and that potentially their son is as well, he kills their son and kidnaps their daughter. And so this book is a quest for Esun to find her daughter, Nasun, but it's just like incredibly so much more than that. The audiobook narrator is such a storyteller. Like, you know, when you get some audiobook narrators and they just read the book and like they can deliver great performances, but when you have someone, I think her name is Robin Miles or something like that. She is so good. She's done so many, but the way that she narrates this story, I'd probably recommend getting a physical copy as well, so that you can, I wish I had physical copies of all 3 so I could keep track of things that go on and like read things for myself, because it's an audiobook I have to listen to extremely slowly because there's always so much information, and it's the kind of book that if you aren't listening, you are going to miss things, really important things. It's fantastic. She's fantastic. The story is fantastic. A lot of it is set in second person, which is really cool. The first book is just, I don't know, the first book just blew me out of the water, and I don't want to spoil anything, but things are coming to a head obviously in this book, and the storytelling is just really fantastic. I don't really have any solid plans for today. Yesterday I went to a yoga class and I had booked another one today, but this morning I woke up and just wasn't really in the right headspace. Like I was saying, I was pretty down in the dumps this morning, so I canceled that. But there is a Zumba class later tonight that I might go to. We shall see. And then tomorrow Kelsifer has his first vet appointment here with his new vet, so I'm a little bit nervous and anxious about that because obviously I'm gonna have to take him. I think it's just gonna be me taking him, and I guess I'll just have to walk there with him in his carrier. So I really hope he's a good boy and he does well, because it's not a far walk at all. I just get, you know, I don't know, I just get a little nervous taking him out, and obviously it's gonna be his first time walking through a few streets of Toronto, so we shall see how that goes. I'm already getting a little bit nervous about that, but I think it'll be okay because he'll just be in his carrier. But yeah, it's just like his last dose of shots. Our boys, are they done? They are done. Kelsifer the tofu is ready for consumption. Isn't that exciting? That's exciting.
Section of the car alarm system. Please disregard any sounds or signals that you hear. This is active fire protection. We are conducting a monkey inspection of the car alarm system. Please disregard any sounds or signals that you hear. This is all part of your inspection. Thank you.
Did you jump as high as I did just now? That's tofu. Yeah, I think he did. Kelsberg, that scared the bananas out of me.
This one is a Japanese horror anthology and is pretty much same sort of thought. I talk about these books, but the first book that I read was The Rich and Suicide. Stunning book, brilliant. It's definitely more than just an aesthetic book.
It's currently 11:10. I have to leave in like 5 minutes. I'm going to bar class this morning, but I am so anxious today. I think the main factor of that is that I have to take Kelsford to the vet later this afternoon. I know this bar class is going to help so much because after every single gym session, I feel a million times better. It's crazy, but my chest is so tight. I'm so anxious. I don't like taking Kelsford to the vet on the best of days, and obviously in London we would just drive him to the vet, but here I'm gonna have to walk him because I'm not gonna catch an Uber, like a 5-minute ride. That doesn't make any sense. It'll be my first time walking out on the streets of Toronto like alone, which isn't really a big deal. I know exactly where I'm going, but I'll have Kelsifer with me in his carrier, and I just taking him to the vet normally, like I would rather get 10 vaccines. I would rather have someone take my blood. I would rather just like take his place a million times, get 20 needles stuck into my arm rather than take this poor cat to the vet. It's not even that he does super badly there. It's just something, I think it's sometimes more stressful for the pet owners than the animals themselves to get taken to the vet because it's just hard to watch, you know, and I just don't like the fact that I'm causing him like any stress, even though ultimately it's for his own good, is like painful to me. And I'm just worried about getting there and how he's gonna do, like literally just in my arms walking down the streets. But that is a problem for a few hours, and I know ultimately it's gonna be okay because he is a good boy. But I'm gonna go sweat off some of this anxiety, hopefully. What's up? I am back from bar. That was really good. That like did a huge number on my anxiety, like really good, really hard. My legs once again are deceased. And it's now 1:37. I've been home for a little bit, just getting some emails done, planning some things, getting some videos planned, and I have to leave in like probably an hour and a half to take Kelsifer, so I'm gonna start playing with him really soon to tucker him out, but I'm feeling a lot better about going now. Like it's honestly just such a huge difference that moving my body makes to my anxiety. I kind of look like I'm wearing a lab coat, but it's just a blouse. I need to make lunch. I also brought all of my books out. I do have some reading updates, and I realized I never got to show you guys my little book haul, so let me do that. First up, I finished Hunter x Hunter volume 4 last night. My partner and I watched the episodes that correspond to this volume, and they are now my favorite episodes so far. They're the ones where they finally finish the Hunter test, and then I like literally could not breathe. I was like clutching my chest, squealing, like we were both just smiling and being like, just made our chest hurt so much, especially like after, because my last update was that we weren't really enjoying the anime for the last few episodes because things were just getting really bogged down and repetitive. But the episodes with Killua, if you know what I'm talking about without spoiling anything, and pertaining to like Killua's and Gon's friendship, like it's just so worth it to see those character moments. And then you have like Leario and Kurapika just being like mom and dad of the group. I just really love everyone's affection for Gon. He's like the force that knits together their team and their friendship, and it's just so sweet to see. Like I've really grown to love him because when I first started reading Hunter x Hunter, he was just kind of annoying to me, but I really love him. I love him now. He wins you over. That's like his skill, is just winning people over, making people fall in love with him because he's just so pure and sweet and earnest and honest and full of love and light and perseverance. Anyway, I just love our little family. The little family we've got going on in here. So the Hunter exam is now over. I'm not going to spoil, but one person, I mean, we know who did and did not pass. I ordered myself volumes 5 and 6. I found them on Chapters. I debated ordering the French versions again, but just because I am, you know, I just want them to match and look pretty, and this one is already like much smaller than my original ones. I did order the English versions again, although it's nice to know that I can still read French and nothing was really lost on me. I didn't really have to translate anything. I'm assuming if it was a novel I would, because obviously with the manga you have pictures to show you what is happening as well. That is a good tip actually. If you're trying to learn a language, try reading a manga in the language you're trying to learn, or a graphic novel, because it does really help you sync up what you're reading with what is happening. I also bought Martin Chuzzlewit by Charles Dickens. I hate this name. I hate this cover, but this will be our next Dickens book, I believe, for I think September. I was gonna call Carolyn last night, but then I really was not feeling well. Look at how small this text is. Are you kidding me? I think I might go the audiobook way with this one, but yeah. So those are the two that I picked up, and then my partner bought me a book. It's currently sitting downstairs in our mailbox. I forgot to grab it, so I'll grab that tonight. A really fun one that I'll explain when I get it, but Cal's first vet appointment went pretty well. He was a really good boy. As soon as everyone saw him, they were just so shook at how big he was. They're like, oh my gosh, he's only 17 weeks. He's already so big, he's gonna be a monster. And then I could like hear them and the other like past the door talking about him, which was really fun. But yeah, he did well, except he just, I mean, it's so sad because he gets so scared of like getting the needle that like his tail was just curled like literally under him, tucked into his chest, and it was just so sad. But I don't think the trip didn't really seem to stress him out really. If anything, he just seemed curious to like see, like I could see him in his carrier looking out, trying to look at things, which was fun. So I think once we finally get him going out places like slowly, I think he's really gonna like it, which will be some nice enrichment for him and just like fun to experience life through him. He's been such, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have Kelsfer living here. I think he's just been he's kind of been a saving angel for me, honestly. So yeah, right now he's being crazy, but I can't believe he is already 4 months old. This weekend he's gonna be 4 months old. But yeah, this morning I just tried to start my day off doing some things that would make my day go a little bit better, because yesterday was an okay day, but the day before that I was really just in a really bad place. I just wanted to leave. I just wanted to leave Toronto. I was so over it. I miss nature so much. Like obviously if we go out on the weekends to like the islands or to a bigger park, there is a lot of nature, but in like everyday life, you know, in Toronto, I guess neighborhoods that aren't suburbs, and especially downtown Toronto, the ratio of buildings to trees and concrete to leafy material is very lacking, and I was just really feeling it. And people, I get so, it's like I don't love seeing people. A lot of you guys were commenting when I was gonna move that like as introverts you liked being in a big city because you got to feel like you were just in a crowd, no one was really paying attention to you, you felt quite anonymous, which I do definitely agree with, and I do like that to an extent, but I would much prefer like living somewhere with no people. You can't really ever get away from people. I don't think, yeah, since moving here, there's never been a moment where I feel like I'm completely alone, because no matter where I look, I can see people. Whereas in London, that just was not the case. You could go a very long time without seeing someone. Like even if you went for a walk like in the forest, there were always just, I mean, it's called the forest city, so there was just so much greenery, and there is so much greenery in London, which I did appreciate when I was there. But it just strikes me like how much green space and how many cool places to explore there actually are in London. But yeah, so that was kind of the update. I'm feeling a lot better today. I got ready a little bit. I want to start a fun vlog and just make sure that I am in a really good mind space. I've been cleaning all morning. I feel like I talk about cleaning pretty regularly on these vlogs, but like I know you guys get me because it's just so, I find it very calming, very therapeutic. It's so nice to make the space just feel just clean and calm. I love tidying. I love being able to listen to an audiobook, so like that's honestly just something I like to do in the morning a little bit after I have my coffee. But now it is 11:13, so I'm gonna get down to doing a little bit of work, and then I think I'm gonna start on filming another video. And yeah, I also wanted to give you guys a little update on the plant situation, because I did get some new ones actually. So this one I got when before I moved. Actually, this is a watermelon plant, or I think it's part of the Pilia family, but this one is cat safe as well, and I really love it. Obviously you can see why it's called the watermelon plant, but I just think it's so freaking cute. And it's been doing really well. There's a bunch of new leaves starting in there, so that's a new addition. But yeah, so this is where it's looking. This is how it's looking right now. The string of hearts is up there. He's getting a bunch of new leaves. I honestly think I should probably give him a bigger pot, but his roots aren't like coming out of the bottom or anything yet, but he's getting new leaves everywhere, so it's just been really fun to see like where they're cropping up, because they're just absolutely going everywhere. And then this money tree is doing really well, a bunch of new leaves. The apartment actually gave us, they gave us this huge like welcome gift when we came and moved in. It was on our counter. It was so nice, and like they had our door wrapped up with like a bow, like it was a big present, and they gave us like a gift card, a couple beers, which like I tried to drink but I could not, a plant, and like some dishwasher pods. It was just really nice. I've never had that happen with an apartment, so he's just a little succulent. And there is one air plant. This Pilia has been the main mama Pilia that all the other peperomias have come out of, and as you can see, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth one over here. She has just, and there's another one in here, I don't know if you can see it. She has just been like multiplying like crazy, which is so fun. I transplanted these ones on the weekend. This is a new transplant, and this is a new transplant, and then they've just been doing like crazy well, and I really like them, so I'm so happy that I get to have so many of them. This is the, oh man, I always want to say glaucoma but that is an eye condition. I think it's called the Pilia glaucus. He's one of my favorites, just so fun to touch. But my palm, I really don't like palm plants. I'm so sorry. I really just, I don't know, he's okay. And then the fern is down there, and then, what are these? Pilia Thailand? I don't know why I always call them Thailand in my head. But he's getting a new leaf. They have the weirdest looking new leaf growths, but yeah. So those are all of the plants. I've officially moved them all in here. Usually at night now, Kelsifer sleeps outside. He just likes to sleep on his cat tree now. Oh, there is a man. Look at that. Just feet. He usually sleeps outside now in his cat tree. He no longer sleeps in bed with us, which is so sad. Maybe he'll get it back, but I just moved all the plants in here so he wouldn't bother them anymore. Okay, I don't know if anyone is hearing that, but he is purposely dumping his food all over the ground so he can play with it. Oh my gosh, look at this. Are you pleased with yourself? You're just laying in a pile of kibble. What is this? Is that you? What are you doing? And there he goes. I just had some oatmeal, and I made a reel. We're not going to talk about what has been happening to Instagram. I hate going on Instagram now. I don't want to be on it. I don't love making reels, but like that is the way the world is going. everything is becoming TikTok. It's something I really hate, and yeah. Anyway, just a little bit upset about it, but at the same time, like, I feel like when you post stuff online, there's always like a balance between keeping up with like, or trying to keep up with trends, or just the format in this case. Obviously paying bills and being creative and doing what you want to do. So I always hope that YouTube is like, you know, the true home of that. I hope YouTube never gets taken over by the TikTok formula, because I can't. I'm someone who loves watching long videos. I just want to say thank you for being here. I did some emails, and I'm gonna film an ASMR video today, I think, in a little bit. I have not posted on my ASMR channel since moving, but also not for months, so I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a little bit of a video game situation. Speaking of video games, the game I wanted to tell you guys about that I finished. It's so sad, Kelsberg. It's called Stray. I think it's kind of blown up recently, but one of my best friends told me about it, and you play as this orange cat. You play as an orange cat, and it's like cyberpunk, but you're a cat, and you're set in this really disgustingly beautiful world where humanity has been wiped off the face of the planet because we've destroyed it, and all that's left are the robots that we made to help us, but the robots have acquired their own societies, their own culture. It's just really beautiful, but you play as this cat who falls into one of their cities, and it's just, I cried I think 3 times, mostly just because it was just like I was playing Calcifer. It was like Calcifer in a video game. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous, the writing was funny, the visuals were so appealing, so beautiful. I just wanted to like leave the game on and like stare at it and have it in my room as like just something pretty to look at, because it was gorgeous. I think that was that studio's first game as well, so very impressive. The only thing I can say is that it's a bit of a shorter game, which is so sad, because I think I finished it in like a couple of weeks. It only took me like 5 hours to get through it, which is sad, but it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. You just play as this cat. Yeah, I would highly recommend Stray, one of my favorite games of the year so far. So I think what I'm actually gonna do in a little bit, as soon as he quiets down, right now he's being a menace. I think he's still playing with his food, but I think I'm gonna go up to the roof. We have like a lounge up there, so I think I'm going to bring all of my books, bring some work, get some reading done up there, get some planning done, and just hopefully enjoy the sun a little bit up there, because it's a nice day. So I think that is the next thing I'm gonna do. Casper, sit. Good boy. Shake pop. No, your pop. Your pop. Okay. Your grandma wants you to give her, your great grandma, actually, my grandma, wants a special shout out from you. Say hi, great grandma. I love you. And this is the little outfit for today. There's dust all over my mirror. I just really wanted to show this tote bag that I think I've already shown, but one of my best friends embroidered lavender on it when she came and visited us from Vancouver. She gave all of us a bag with different florals on it, so yeah, she put lavender on mine. And then my tank top with the sun and moon on it, as well as this black sweater, as well as these cool shorts with planets and stars on them. These are all thrifted from ThredUp. All 3 of them are from ThredUp. I don't know where any of them are actually from, but yeah, I made myself a nice coffee. I have a book full of bags and stuff to work on up there. There's a burp stuck in my chest. I'm gonna go up there now. Kelsfer is sleeping, or he's just having a little war with the window washing men. So yes, let's go. Alright, I am back from my little time on the roof, which was really fun. I spent about an hour up there. I got through my pages of the Cossacks, so I did find one more quote. Now basically Olenin has become friends with this older Cossack man who's kind of teaching him their ways of life, but he has this moment of epiphany that's just like, it's honestly just too similar to every other Tolstoy main character who has the epiphany. Like the amount of times I've heard these lines where all of a sudden they're just like, life, I have to be happy, I must be happy, I must be in search of my own happiness, I have to serve other people. Like literally reused and recycled pretty much every single, at least one character in every single Tolstoy novel. It's so grating. Anyway, he says that it became clear to him that he was not a Russian nobleman at all, a member of Moscow society, the friend and relative of such and such a person, but just a gnat, or a pheasant, or a stag, like the ones that were living now all around him. I must still live, I must be happy. It doesn't matter what I am, an animal like all the others, on top of whom the grass will grow, and that is all. Or a frame in which a part of the one God has been placed, I must nevertheless live in the best way. And then he goes on this rant about like what happiness is and about how it's to live for others, and all of that, which is very nice that like it is. I just want something new from Tolstoy. I don't want his male protagonist to like keep waking up to the same realization that, in my opinion, is not a universal truth. And even if it was, like, in my opinion, I don't think, like, I don't want to read a book about the same guy realizing the same thing, because even in singular ideas that aren't repeated across Tolstoy's novels, he always shoves them down your throat no matter what. So to have like the same idea, the same philosophy, especially repeated in the same language, almost word for word, across all of his novels and short stories, it's too much. Stop. Anyway, I also read my pages of 100 Years of Solitude up there, so I got that done. It's so good. It's so good. And then I only read a couple more pages of A Wild Sheep Chase, but I've tabbed a lot more things, so I'll probably talk about that later. But I am now like absolutely ravenous, so I'm gonna make some food. And I still have some coffee left.